If you consider yourself an empath, you are a target for narcissists. And I need to clear up the space on empaths because this is not an actual term. It's a very new agey term, and I honestly think it's hurting a lot of people. I know the channel is called Empath Meets a Narcissist, but I'm going to tell you what an empath really is. And narcissists are going to take full advantage of empaths because, in a lot of ways, they're like the exact opposite of a narcissist. A narcissist internalizes people like objects, but because the narcissist is a very negative, low level person, they see people through the perception of their own narcissistic lens. So they see people and they think, oh, this person is going to steal from me, this person is going to hurt me, this person is going to try to trick me the same way that they do to other people, right? That's why we hang out with people that are usually like us, because our perception of the world is what our subjectivity, right, makes us do things in the world that relate to how we feel inside. And the narcissist does this to an extreme. It's a personality disorder. And the empath, when they see people, they internalize a very good object that might have been from early things in their relationships with their parents, their caregivers, whoever, where now psychology is not an exact science. It could have been because someone around them was an empath as well, right? Which I think empath is more like highly sensitive person. It's someone who has become very attuned to the feelings of others, either because they were trained that way by other empaths, right? It's like those people who are very intuitive, those people that like do tarot readings, those people that can read people like a book. It's just a natural gift. And those would be like true, real deal empaths. And if that sounds like crazy talk to you, there's police officers, people, scientific thinkers who will use psychics to try to access those unconscious, subconscious parts of our mind because they realize that there is an aspect to our mind, our personalities that is not easily seen by the naked eye. That's why when you meditate, why when you do all those kind of spiritual things, you get insights into parts of your mind that are there, right? It's not like they're coming from anywhere else. We all exist inside of our human mind. And that's what I'm trying to get at here with the empath. The empath has internalized the narcissist as like a good object, opposite to what the narcissist does. The narcissist internalizes people as bad objects. Yes, they idealize them in the beginning. Even then, they don't, it's a dysfunction, it's a disorder, and the narcissist internalizes that person dysfunctionally. You're not supposed to over idealize someone like that. You're supposed to see people, and it's not to say you should never have childlike wonder of the world. You should never fall in love, but especially if you're an older person, you should know that not everyone like you, like the empath. Empaths think that everyone else has their best interest in mind. And unfortunately, as we grow older, as we become wiser, we see that many people, even if their intents are not malicious, they are looking out for themselves and they aren't necessarily looking out for your best interest. That's why people are so drawn to empaths. That's why I feel people were so drawn to this channel, is because we are all alike and similar in that same way. And narcissists especially are very drawn to people like that because we're rare. When they meet someone like this, they end up doing a lot of damage because they hold on to us so tight. They take so much from us because the narcissist is an endless hole of need. That is part of their personality disorder. They cannot regulate themselves, which the thing about empaths can mean a lot of things. It can be highly sensitive person, it can be true real deal psychic, it could be other personality disorders. Straight up, you could have some kind of like bipolar thing going on. You could actually, or you could just be going through a rough period in your life. Psychology is not an exact science. As an empath, I truly believe you have the capacity to, you are a natural healer. You are very intuitive and healing of yourself, and that's why you see the best in others, and you honestly probably bring out the best in others, even to that narcissist. You were probably one of the best things that ever happened to that narcissist. Right in the word empath, you have the ability to empathize with other people, is to put yourself in other people's shoes, but it's almost like a disorder in the sense that you do it to an extent. It's almost dysfunctional. You care too much about other people. I know exactly how you are. You're probably a lot like me, where you put yourself in other people's shoes. You do way too much for them because you see yourself as that person. It's a very spiritual concept, but Freud spoke about it too. It's called the oceanic effect. It's feeling a deep sense of connection with everything else. We are almost like the narcissist who, it's funny because people say the narcissist has too much ego, but it's actually the opposite. Most people have narcissism all wrong. The narcissist has no ego, they have no boundaries. We are just like them in that sense that our boundaries, we seem like we have no boundaries as an empath because our boundaries are so infinite, so limitless that we take on other BS. It's I have dealt with this myself, and I've gotten a lot better at it. Whenever I read even the news, when my friends tell me their stories, it really affects me and it really draining on my energy. I've met people like this. I've met, yoga teachers, people like that. Those are really empathetic people where they really absorb the qualities and the energies of all the people around them, and they're always exhausted. They're always trying to recuperate their energy because they're always healing other people, whether they intend to do it or not. Narcissist is like the opposite end of that spectrum. They're always taking from people and stealing people's energy, whether they intend to do it or not. And yes, the narcissist is a grown adult and they should be held accountable for their decisions. As long as you keep seeing it as them being this cold, calculated, evil machine, you're always going to hold on to that resentment and hate and think that you're a bad person for being empathetic when you're really not. See, the narcissist is actually pretty gullible. Empaths have the ability to regulate themselves and we can get more balanced out. We can become quite powerful. Most empaths are very intelligent, they're very perceptive. The narcissist is very clueless, they're very gullible. They just seem like a smart person because a manipulator is only as smart as the people he's trying to manipulate. That's why the narcissist is always moving from person to person. That's why they can only manipulate people who have not ever really met a narcissist, or just someone who's very vulnerable, right? Like an empath who's just in a very vulnerable state, or just anyone in a vulnerable state, right? But when narcissists meet more dangerous, more destructive, more manipulative, calculating personality disorders, like a true psychopath, like a true sociopath, they are toast. Those type of people will play the narcissist like a fiddle because they have some of their quirks and personalities in their own self, but because they've gone an even more higher step of cold callousness, if you read up on psychopaths, sociopaths, those are the true robots. The narcissist still has some ghosts and inclinations of a human being. Those psychopaths and sociopaths are true. It's like you stare into their eyes and it's like it's soulless. The narcissist is kind of like that at times too, but sometimes you see the light in their eyes. True psychopaths, sociopaths, you see them. The Richard Ramirez's, those awful, horrific people where you could see it in their eyes that they have lost all empathy, all sense of humanity. Even narcissists can sometimes have very, 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 very little, I know, very small sprinkles once a few times in their lifetime of empathy, right? Especially because, and then that could also be part of because they need narcissistic supply. So sometimes they will feign empathy to get more supply, right? It's like a gamble for them. They give you a bit of empathy, like fake, surface level empathy. They don't really feel it, but they play the role of empathy so they could get narcissistic supply. So that, that's, and we can delve deeper into why all of human interaction is kind of like a play. Once you really see the narcissist for who they are, you'll understand that being an empath is really a better thing and you have the capacity to heal yourself. And you just have to stop seeing everyone as this, yes, everyone has good in them, but it's not up to you to save the world. In reality, do what every other empath that's done something great with their lives and got it together. They've healed themselves first, and then with that extra energy, after they realize what the world is, after they've gotten their things in order, then they started to heal other people in the right way without taking on all of the responsibility and damage that comes along with it. That's what you must do, and that's how you'll overcome all the BS that you've gone through with the narcissist as well.